Imagine this. Two people start at the exact same place today. Same salary, same energy, same dreams. Fast forward 5 years. One is living a life you admire and the other is stuck, frustrated and tired. What changed? Not talent, not luck. Just tiny choices. Close your eyes for a moment and think about your daily routine. The way you wake up, the way you scroll your phone, the food you eat, the things you postpone. It all feels small, right? Almost invisible. Like it doesn't really matter. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Your life is not built in big moments. It is quietly shaped in the smallest ones. Let me tell you a story. There was a man who decided to improve his life. Not dramatically, not with some intense transformation. He simply chose to wake up 30 minutes earlier every day. That's it. No grand announcement. No social media post. Just a quiet decision. On the first day, nothing changed. On the second day, nothing changed. Even after a week, still nothing noticeable. And this is where most people quit, because we are addicted to visible results. We want immediate proof. We want applause. We want transformation to feel dramatic. But real change doesn't shout. It whispers. That man kept going. Those 30 minutes turned into reading, learning, thinking. Months passed. His mindset began to shift. His decisions became sharper. His confidence grew. Years later, people called him lucky. But luck had nothing to do with it. It was accumulation. Now let me flip the story. Another man also made a choice. He didn't ruin his life in one big mistake. He simply chose comfort. Every single day. A little extra scrolling, a little junk food, a little procrastination, a little, I'll do it tomorrow. Again, nothing changed. At first, no alarm bells, no immediate consequences. Just small, harmless decisions. Until one day, everything caught up, and suddenly he felt behind in life. Not because of one big failure, but because of thousands of tiny ones. This is the invisible force most people underestimate. Small actions don't feel powerful, but they are. Every decision you make is like casting a vote for the person you are becoming. You don't become successful overnight. You become successful one small habit at a time. And here's the tricky part. Bad habits and good habits feel the same in the beginning. Eating junk food today feels just as harmless as skipping a workout. Watching one more reel feels just as harmless as delaying your goals by one more day. But over time, they don't stay equal. One builds your future. The other silently destroys it. And the most dangerous thing? You won't notice it while it's happening. That's why most people feel stuck. Not because they lack ambition, but because they underestimate consistency. Let's get real for a second. Have you ever told yourself, I'll start tomorrow? Have you ever planned something big, but didn't follow through? Have you ever felt motivated one day and completely lost the next? You're not alone. The problem isn't motivation. Motivation is emotional. It comes and goes. What actually shapes your life is discipline. And discipline isn't about doing big things. It's about doing small things, even when you don't feel like it. Think about this. What if you improve just 1% every day? Sounds tiny, right? But over time, that 1% becomes unstoppable. Now imagine the opposite, getting 1% worse every day. That's how people slowly drift into lives they never planned. No one wakes up one day and decides to fail. They just make small, careless decisions. Repeatedly. Here's another truth most people avoid. You already know what to do. You know you should wake up earlier. You know you should exercise. You know you should learn new skills. You know you should stop wasting time. Knowledge is not the problem. Execution is. And execution doesn't require intelligence. It requires consistency. Let me give you a simple example. Two friends join a gym. One goes all in, intense workouts, strict diet, extreme discipline. He burns out in 2 weeks. The other shows up, even on bad days, even when he's tired, even when he doesn't feel like it. He doesn't aim for perfection, just consistency. Guess who wins? The one who stayed. Because success doesn't reward intensity. It rewards persistence. Now here's something deeper. Your habits don't just shape your results, they shape your identity. If you wake up early consistently, you start seeing yourself as disciplined. If you keep your promises to yourself, you start trusting yourself. If you show up daily, even imperfectly, you become someone who finishes what they start. And that changes everything. Because once your identity shifts, your actions follow automatically. You don't have to force yourself anymore. It becomes who you are. But here's where most people get trapped. They wait for the perfect moment. The perfect time, the perfect mood, the perfect plan. But perfection is a delay tactic. Life doesn't change when everything is perfect. It changes when you decide to act. Despite imperfection. Start small. So small that it feels almost stupid. Read one page. Do one push-up. Wake up 10 minutes earlier. Write one paragraph. Because small actions remove resistance. And once you start, momentum takes over. Momentum is powerful. It turns effort into habit. It turns discipline into identity. It turns small wins into big results. Now imagine your life 1 year from now. Not with massive changes, not with unrealistic goals. Just small, consistent improvements. Better health. Better mindset. Better income. Better confidence. All built quietly. Day by day. And here's the best part. Anyone can do this. You don't need talent. You don't need resources. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need consistency. But let me be honest with you, this path is not exciting. There are no shortcuts, no overnight success, no dramatic transformation. It's boring, repetitive, invisible. And that's why most people quit, because they confuse excitement with progress. Real progress is silent. It happens when no one is watching. It happens when you choose discipline over comfort. It happens when you keep going, even without results, and one day, everything compounds. Suddenly, people notice. Suddenly, you stand out. Suddenly, your life looks different. But you'll know the truth. It wasn't sudden. It was built one small choice at a time. So the real question is not, can I change my life? The real question is, what small decision will I repeat every day? Because your future is not decided by one big moment. It is decided by what you do daily. Right now, you have two paths. One feels easy today but painful later. The other feels difficult today but powerful later. And the scary part? Both paths look almost identical in the beginning. That's why awareness matters. That's why discipline matters. That's why your small choices matter more than you think. So, starting today, pay attention to your habits, to your time, to your decisions. Because nothing you do is just small. Everything counts. 5 years from now, you will either thank yourself or regret yourself. Not because of one big decision, but because of thousands of tiny ones. So don't wait for a big opportunity. Create your future, one small step at a time. Because in the end, your life is not a result of what you did occasionally, but what you did consistently.